Welcome back, everybody. 10 minutes to post for the seventh race on the card. More importantly, the first time we're going to be seeing it this season. 6.5 furlongs down the lawn. That is the Grade 2 Eddie D Stakes. And currently 1-5 favorite on the one, Gregorian Chant. Let's take a closer look at the horses down in the paddock. The Eddie D, named in honor of one of the greats of Santa Anita and Hall of Fame lore, and that, of course, Eddie. I took a shot with a long shot, which it turns is not going to be as big a long shot as we thought. And that's the 4, Charmaine's Mia. 4-1 currently from that 10-1 line for trainer Phil D'Amato. D'Amato looking for another stakes winner here. This is a horse that, granted, has only been 6.5 down the lawn one time, and they did not hit the board. That was a long. Horse like Lieutenant Dan on the outside for trainer Steve Niotti and owner breeder Nick Alexander is probably the most likely to make that play. Horse coming into the gate there is the aforementioned Gregorian Chant. This is a 5-year-old Gregorian coming from the Tattersall sale of 2017. Never been down the hill, but is absolutely bred to love it. For Phil D'Amato, this horse was a decent third last time out, going 5 furlongs off a June freshening August 22nd in the Grade 3 race over at Del Mar back on the 22nd. It was kind of an even race for the most part. Aforementioned 4-horse Charmaine's Mia there, the 5 Law-Abiding Citizen right behind them. This is a 7-year-old Twirling Candy. It was a decent fourth, going 6.5 back in May. Has not raced since July 31st in the Grade 1 Bing Crosby on the dirt. It was not a bad race. Stumbled at the beginning of the race and was fourth in a field of 8, beaten 3/4 for the whole thing. Chaos Theory goes by quickly for Bob Hess. Good third, going 6 furlongs back in April. Hasn't raced since May the 7th. Lieutenant Dan, I will not be surprised, the early pace setter. Whisper Not the 8, John Velasquez for Richie Paultis. This horse was a winner in the San Francisco Mile back on April 24th. Since then, City Zip, known as Caribou Club, had a nice little battle in the Mr. Steele at golf. First time in for trainer Michael McCarthy. So there's your field going Parsword, 6.5 down the lawn in the Grade 2 Eddie D Stakes. Good luck. The race was fourth in a field of 8.
Jay Cohen, Rick Tyree, and Bill Frazier calling the field onto the track for the Grade 2 Eddie D Stakes at about 6.5 furlongs down the hillside course. Post time in 5 minutes.
Snapper Sinclair, Joel Rosario looking for his third stakes win of the afternoon, or actually third of the afternoon. A 6-year-old full horse, the son of Steve Asmussen. This horse was a winner at Kentucky Downs on that undulating course going 1 mile and 70 yards. Horse we just saw a few moments ago, that was
Here's the field for the Eddie D. Number 1 is Gregorian Chant, owned by Slam Dunk Racing, Old Bones Racing Stable, and Netwig. Trained by Phil D'Amato and ridden by Juan Hernandez. Number 2 is Caribou Club, owned by Glen Hill Farm, trained by Michael McCarthy with Drayden Van Dyke. Three is Masut, owned by Keith Brackpool, trained by Carla Gaines. Umberto Rispoli has the call. Number 4 is Charmaine's Mia, owned by Agave Racing Stable, Medallion Racing, and Rockin' Robin Racing Stables, trained by Phil D'Amato with Flavienne Pratt. 5 is Law Abiding Citizen by Agnew, Schneider, and Zitko, trained by Mark Latt with Abel Cedillo. 6 Chaos Theory is owned by David Burnson, Gans, Katz et al., trained by Bob Hetz Jr. with Kent DeSormo. Number 7 is Lieutenant Dan, owned by Nick Alexander, trained by Steve Miotti. The jockey is Giovanni Franco. 8 Whisper is owned by Dunn, Peskoff, and Mataket Stables et al., trained by Richard Baltus. John Velasquez rides. And completing the field, number 9, Snapper Sinclair, owned by Bloom Racing Stable, trained by Steve Asmussen with Joel Rosario. That's the field for the Eddie D. They'll be at the top of the hill in about 3 minutes.
Zoe Cadman here with Bloom Racing. We're talking Jeff Bloom here, and it's time to talk Snapper Sinclair. Now, a bit of inside information, Jeff. I just clipped him on Tuesday, and I can tell you he was not very nice, and he's obviously feeling very, very well.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's just a sweetheart, although I would have warned you that you might not want to be the one clipping him. He can be a handful.
He's certainly Snapper by name, Snapper by nature. Let's talk about this race. He's not sprinted since he broke his maiden 4 years ago. He turns back in distance, first time on the hill. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts.
I think the trick here is it's the hill. You know, he loves Kentucky Downs and the weird configuration. We got to go down and up the hill and make a weird turn here. So we're thinking it's going to be to his liking. A little bit of a cutback, but he did break his maiden going 5.5 on the turf. He's so versatile, dirt, turf, long, short. He takes his racetrack with him. We're hoping.
Tell us a little bit about the groom. Gerardo just won the best turned out. Was he a groom for another fan favorite of yours?
There's another Bloom Racing horse named Midnight Bizu that Gerardo, or we like to call him Chocolate, he took care of her from start to finish. So, yeah, he's taking care of Snapper Sinclair here. So hopefully the magic works.
Best of luck, Jeff Bloom with Snapper Sinclair.
Well, I'm very excited to be up here at the top of the Hillside Turf Course. It is unique to Santa Anita. There is no other turf course like it in the country. And I'm just going to step over to my right here so you can see what the horses will experience when they come out of the gate for this hillside turf course. There is a dip, as you can see. The first dip is about 100 meters from the start of the gate, and then it'll bear round to the right-hand side. Horses tend to cluster to the right rail there, and then there's a left-hand turn bend, so the horses will drift slightly over and get position on the left-hand side, the inside rail. They will go down the hill, cross over the crossing, and end up finishing in the stretch. And if you ever want to see one of the most dramatic hillside turf course, go back to the 1990.
The horses are approaching the starting gate. It's post time for the Eddie D. Gregorian Chant and Law-Abiding Citizen have gone into their gates. Caribou Club in the Glen Hill Farm Silks. Chaos Theory is next. Here's Miss Soot. Charmaine's Mia and Lieutenant Dan. Whisper Not, Snapper Sinclair. Snapper Sinclair to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Eddie D. Lieutenant Dan came out smartly. Here's Charmaine's Mia, now sprinting up along with Law-Abiding Citizen. Lieutenant Dan on the outside. At the rails, Charmaine's Mia, Law-Abiding Citizen is right in between those two. They're followed by Chaos Theory, racing together with Whisper Not, Miss Soot, Gregorian Chant. At the back of the field are Snapper Sinclair and Stretch Running Caribou Club Trails. Down the hill they go. Charmaine's Mia, Lieutenant Dan in hand on the outside, and Lieutenant Dan now puts his head in front. Law-Abiding Citizen in between horses, 3 clear of Chaos Theory, then Whisper Not, Miss Soot on the far outside. Gregorian Chant crosses the dirt 6 lengths behind them. Caribou Club and Snapper Sinclair, they're at the top of the stretch. Lieutenant Dan powers to the front, opens up on Charmaine's Mia. Gregorian Chant is finding his best stride. A 16th to go, and it's Lieutenant Dan still cruising on the outside. Chaos Theory running a big race with Gregorian Chant, but Lieutenant Dan very strong. Snapper Sinclair came flying late for second. Chaos Theory and Gregorian Chant. Number 7, Lieutenant Dan was first. It's a photo for second. Running time down the hill, 1:11.74. Finishing second, number 9, Snapper Sinclair. Third, 6, Chaos Theory. Fourth, 1, Gregorian Chant. And fifth was number 3, Masut, 79613. Super high five, $5,538.10. It pays to be Calbred. The only Calbred in the race wins the Grade 2 Eddie D Stakes. Number 7, Lieutenant Dan, a 5-year-old bay gelding by Grayson out of Excusable, owned by Nick Alexander, trained by Steve Miotti, and ridden by Giovanni Franco. Lieutenant Dan was bred in California by owner Nick Alexander. The running time for the Grade 2 Eddie D down the hillside course, 1:11.74 seconds. In the Run Happy Winner Circle, making the presentation to the connections of Lieutenant Dan is Mike Willman, the Director of Publicity here at Santa Anita Park. Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the Run Happy Winner Circle and Scott Hazelton.
Here with the winning owner and breeder of Lieutenant Dan, Nick Alexander. And how much fun has this horse been over the course of his career for you?
Because it was so unexpected. I think he's the 8th, maybe 7th or 8th full out of the mare, and the first 7 did nothing. So we had very low expectations for this horse, and he just continues to exceed them. He just loves to win.
How nice is it to have hillside turf course racing back here at Santa Anita?
I love that turf course. We have always excelled. Grazing babies just seem to love that distance and that downhill, and it's so beautiful.
As you mentioned, Lieutenant Dan loves to win. He's only failed to hit the top 3 in one race, but he's now won between 5 furlongs at Del Mar and down the hill here at Santa Anita. There's a little race like the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint in a month's time that you'd have to supplement, and I've been told that you rarely say no. Are you considering supplementing Lieutenant Dan, and how likely are you to consider supplementing him to the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint?
Well, he just earned the amount. It's $100,000, and if he comes out of this race in one piece, that's our next goal.
We look forward to it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And they're off in the Eddie D. Lieutenant Dan came out smartly. Here's Charmaine's Mia, now sprinting up along with law-abiding Citizen. Lieutenant Dan on the outside. At the rails, Charmaine's Mia. Law-abiding Citizen is right in between those two. They're followed by Chaos Theory, racing together with Whisper Not, Miss Soot, Gregorian Chant. At the back of the field are Snapper Sinclair and stretch-running Caribou Club trails. Down the hill they go. Charmaine's Mia, Lieutenant Dan in hand on the outside, and Lieutenant Dan now puts his head in front. Law-abiding citizen in between horses, 3 clear of Chaos Theory, then Whisper Not, Missoot on the far outside. Gregorian Chant crosses the dirt 6 lengths behind them. Caribou Club and Snapper Sinclair, they're at the top of the stretch. Lieutenant Dan powers to the front, opens up on Charmaine's Mia. Gregorian Chant is finding his best stride. A 16th to go, and it's Lieutenant Dan still cruising. On the outside, Chaos Theory running a big race with Gregorian Chant, but Lieutenant Dan very strong. Snapper Sinclair came flying late for second. Chaos Theory and Gregorian Chant. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier today, Santa Anita honored our very own John Shear, who retired after 60 years of service here at the Great Race Place at the remarkable age of 100. In honor of his retirement, and as a thank you to this giant of a small man, Santa Anita Park has announced that we are renaming a stakes race as the John Shear Mile to be run here on April 10th. Congratulations again to John Shear.
I love horses, and I love to see the races. That really turns me on more than anything. I love to see the races, and then see the horses later on when they're walking back and forth. You know what I mean? It really impresses me, and I love it. I've always enjoyed coming over here, and I couldn't wait to get out of bed and get here. My wife wanted me to retire. I didn't want to retire, personally speaking. I don't want to say anything to her, but I didn't really want to retire. I like to work. I love, as long as I can be here amongst friends, I enjoy it. It's a wonderful life, but you've got to look after it.
San Manuel Casino is now Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel.
Michelle, 5.5 furlongs. And you can see the way that number one Lady Pacific was managed. They know that she has distant limitations. I think shortening up to 5.5 from 6 will certainly help her, particularly since she has early speed. But I do like lightly raced horses that are making changes. And you've got some significant changes going on with number 5, Governor Special. Lasix on, blinkers on, and she's run well the first 2 times of her career over the synthetic. Those 2 additions could actually improve her a bit more. And likewise, number 8, Phantom Indian on my ticket. First time Lasix coming off the layoff, hasn't been seen since December of last year.
I use the 1 and the 5. I include the 6 Crystal Proof for Cliff de Lima coming off a third place finish on debut. I thought solid enough to say could improve here, and it's going to be moving on to the synthetic for the first time. Flipping back over to Santa Anita for the 9th race, maiden special weight here for Calbred fillies. I feel like we're singing the same tune, but this time on the sod.
Current favorite, I should say the morning line favorite is number 6, Big Summer, 5-2 on the morning line. Makes sense, right? But she's kind of not delivered as the beaten favorite 2 of the last 3 times. I'll use her, but I'm also going to use a couple of big prices. Number 7, Oh Sugar Mint. I just have a feeling Mike Pipe, who already has 1 win on the card, is trying to get a price here using the bug boy Juan Espinoza. I'll dabble at 15-1, and likewise number 12, Self Isolation. Easy for me to say on the outside. First time Lasix off the long layoff for trainer Doug O'Neill.
We still have one race to talk about on the Golden Hour Pick 4 sequence. We're going to step aside for the post parade of the Grade 1 American Pharoah, and we'll return here at the Great Race Place.
We are privileged to have with us Jay Cohen, Rick Tyree, and Bill Frazier. They just called them onto the track for the Grade 1 American Pharoah Stakes. An official Breeders' Cup Challenge win and you're in qualifying race for the juvenile division. This is leg 1 of the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, combining the last 2 races from Santa Anita Park with the last 2 from Golden Gate Fields. Here's the field for the Grade 1 American Pharoah. Number 1 is Corniche, owned by Speedway Stables, trained by Bob Baffert, and ridden by Mike Smith. Two is Flying Drummer, owned by Michael Lund Peterson, trained by Bob Baffert with John Velasquez. 3 is Phineas, owned by Lovinger, Fasahuden, and Navarro, trained by Walter Solis with Tiago Pereira. 4, Oviat Class, owned by Jim Downey, trained by Keith DeSormo and ridden by Kent DeSormo. Number 5 is Joker Boy, owned by Brown, Klein, and Lebhertz, trained by Brian Corner with Edwin Maldonado. 6, Rockefeller, is owned by SF Racing, Starlight Racing, and Madaket Stables. He's trained by Bob Baffert and the jockey Flavien Pratt. And number 7, Papa Cap, is owned by Russellwood Farm, trained by Mark Cassie with Joe Bravo. That's the field for the Grade 1 American Pharoah. Post time on the board for the start of the Golden Hour Pick 4. Just 4 minutes away.
I'm here with Leah O'Mara of Stonehaven Steedings. Now, Leah, you and your family bred the one horse, Corniche, in here. You guys stayed in for a piece. Tell us how excited you are today to watch Corniche.
And nervous, you know, honestly, we're so proud of him already. I know a lot of, you know, I don't know. We're already proud of him, to be honest. And I'm so thankful for Speedway to allow us to be part of this. And we can hope for the best. You know, having Shanghai Bobby come here and do what he did so many years ago and being here again is kind of unreal. Like, we just hope for the best, you know.
What do you attribute to having bred good horses like champion 2-year-old Shanghai Bobby? Is it the land that your farm is on in Kentucky?
Well, you know, we lean on that, honestly. Like the limestone rich land, obviously Woodford County, we are in a very special place. The farm already raised 4 champions before Shanghai Bobby with the previous owners, Saxony Farm. So we do give a lot of credit to the land, but we have a great team. We have great guys at home, and I'm really thankful for that too.
Leah O'Mara and the rest of the crew here, we wish you the best of luck with Corniche. Good luck.
Thanks, girl. I appreciate it.
So much excitement there talking about the one horse Corniche, the fantastic pedigree by champion sire, Quality Road, out of the very good race mare Wasted Tears. I know we still talk about the Golden Hour Pick 4, but Wasted Tears, I remember her owner trainer, Bart, used to holler around like Chip Woolley in his own horse trailer on some occasions.
Bart Hone, an old school horseman from the Southwest. He does a great job, and Wasted Tears, one that many of us remember. And it's interesting, the win money on Corniche was at 96,000 as we came back from that interview, more than what's in the Golden Hour Pick 4 pool. So there's certainly some players out there that expect Corniche to be in the winner's circle after the running of this race.
All right, so we are nearing the $90,000 mark for that Golden Hour Pick 4. Again, it's the last 2 races here, the last 2 races at Golden Gate with a low takeout as well as $1 minimum wagers. So TQ, we're talking about the finale at Golden Gate as the last leg, 1 mile on the turf course, 12-5, non-winners of 2 life. I thought this was a spread event. I went 3 deep. To you, it was a lot more simple.
And I'm chalking out with the one table for 10. It's
Oh, sorry.
I know.
Sorry, just chalk.
It's interesting to see how this gelding was managed, right, Michelle? You can see basically Phil D'Amato gave up after that dismal performance at Los Alamitos, but they shipped up north to Jonathan Wong with the owner that was here in Southern California, and they tried turf 2 more times, thinking that competition might be a little bit weaker, but the buyer speed figures kind of held up, and I played table for 10 back on May 30th. I know we don't have time to watch the replay, but that was a good performance from the far outside post that day going a flat mile. So all I need is a duplication of that performance. I do think there's enough speed to set up his late kick. I'll chalk it out with number 1, table for 10, but sounds like you're going a little bit deeper.
I included table for 10 for sure. I'm not silly, but I want to throw a price horse in there as well. I used the 6 Voice of Victory because broke the maiden for 20. Last time out, tried starter. Oh, nay, my friend. That's not what you do. You cut the claiming price in half and you come back in the non-2.
I've heard that before.
Right? So this is it. This is the angle. Maiden 20, 12-5, non-2 is as close as we get to the half. So I'm going to use it. So I did use Voice of Victory there. And then I also included the 8 Big City Bane for Victor Trujillo. Last couple of outs at this level, at this distance or similar, I felt like were okay efforts, and this horse is going to be able to get one eventually. I just don't want to leave him off in case today was his day.
Relatively inexpensive tickets. Yours is 36, mine is 18. Pool approaching $100,000 as we're about 1 minute away from post for the final win in your end race for today. Total of 7 over this 3-day weekend. Some great racing tomorrow, and of course Sunday.
All right, we're at post time right now for the Grade 1 American Pharoah. But before we throw it out to track announcer Frank Miramati, Millie Ball is standing by.
Thank you very much, Michelle. The gate crew are working their way over to the gate now to greet the contenders for the Grade 1 American Pharoah, winning him in for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. 3 horses I really want to focus on in here. Corniche starts it off, ridden by Mike Smith. He is an incredibly fast 2-year-old colt. I think if he gets a good break, then we will see him utilize that speed out on the front end for Speedway Stables. He worked with Rockefeller. Rockefeller was on the inside, Corniche on the outside, and I particularly liked the way Rockefeller dug in that work. It was a super drill. They went 59-4. He's bred for the 2 turns for Jack Wolf. And I think Rockefeller is another one from the Bob Baffert barn that is a major contender. Baffert, of course, in search of his 6th American Pharoah Stakes. And finally, Oviatt Class, who ironically made this half-mile move like a Concorde taking off down at Del Mar. And ironic because Jim Downey is the founder of C&D Aerospace, but it was an incredible move that Oviatt Class made to go on and win. And he's already gone a mile in trip. They've arrived at the gate. It's the Grade 1 American Pharoah.
It's post time for the American Pharoah Grade 1 event, and a win and you're in as part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series for the Juvenile Division. First 3 have gone in. Corniche, Oviatt Class, and Joker Boy, joined by Rockefeller. Flying Drummers in. 2 more. Phineas and Papa Cap. And they're off in the American Pharoah. Joker Boys stumbled pretty badly. Corniche comes out smoothly. Rockefeller right up alongside, and Flying Drummer. Entering the Run Happy winner circle is number 1, Corniche. He's a 2-year-old bay colt by Quality Road out of Wasted Tears, owned by Speedway Stables, trained by Hall of Famer Bob Baffert, and ridden by Hall of Famer Mike Smith. Corniche was bred in Kentucky by Bart Evans and Stonehaven Steadings. The running time for the Grade 1 American Pharoah, 1 minute 44. 0.75 seconds. Breeders' Cup congratulates Corniche for winning the Grade 1 American Pharoah Stakes, a Breeders' Cup Challenge win and you're in race for the Grade 1 $2 million Breeders' Cup Juvenile.